Yo, Kingdom, community vibes, community ties. Terrance Tucker is the brother who's connecting the tribe.
I got my boy in the building. I got my boy in the building. Yes, you see it. Yes. Don't get mad, man. Don't get mad at me because God has blessed me. Just do it. Yes. My boy Kevin Lawrence is in the building, man. My brother from another, man. Yes. Don't get mad at his hat. Don't get mad at his hat.
They see it. They see it.
We all make mistakes.
The hogs.
We all make mistakes out here in these streets. But listen, I got my boy Kevin Lawrence in the building. Yes, some of you know him from Live PD. You know what I'm saying?
Formerly.
But guess what? Formerly Live PD. But guess what? We gonna get to know the man behind the badge. Okay? This is so important for everybody. Please make sure that you're listening because my boy's gonna drop some jewels today. We know that you have been waiting patiently to hear his side of things, okay? But guess what? It's all positive. It's all positive today. Nothing controversial, okay? So if that's what you're watching this, you're watching the wrong show, okay? It's all about uplifting the what? Community.
That's
Why?
right.
Because it's all about the community vibes today,
Every
man.
day.
All right? Listen, we gotta pay 2 bills, okay? Real quick. Number 1, we gotta thank God, man, for just waking us up this morning, okay?
Every day.
Listen, man, thank him. Give him all the praise. Give him all the glory, man, because listen, man, without him waking you up, you wouldn't be here today, all right? Listen, whatever you're going through right now, I promise you, send those prayers up, okay? Trust me, man, blessings will come down, all right? Number 2, you hear the music playing in the background, man. You hear the music. We grooving. Why? Because we're at the Groove Smoothie and Juice Bar. Yes, you see me with my juicy. You see me with my midnight train to Georgia right now. Come out. Listen, come out, man. 7510 Garners Ferry Road, man. Come out, man. Black-owned business, man. Come out, man, and support. Okay, we need your support, man. All right. All right. Yeah, now we about to get the business. We about to get the business, man. Let me say this first off, man. It's been my brother for a minute, man. Okay, and I'm so thankful for you to be here.
Thank you for having me, bro. I appreciate it. That means a lot. Yeah,
listen. You see it. Let's all stand up and give this man a huge round of applause, man. We got Kevin Lawrence in the building, man.
Wow, man. You wild, man.
You're mad. Stop, man.
Stupid.
Turn that frown to a smile. Listen, you say where he's from? You know where he's from. But some of you may not know where he's from. So let's find out. Now, you see the ugly hat on his head?
God don't like ugly. God don't like ugly.
He's from DC, but he represents a small town in South Carolina on 20 Highway called Aiken, South Carolina.
That's
man.
right. That's
Aiken,
right.
South Carolina. He went to high school at one of the best football program high schools in the nation.
Prestigious. Silver
man.
Bluff.
That Lawrence last name is powerful.
Number 90, DeMarcus Lawrence, my little cousin. See you tomorrow at the cookout, boy. See you tomorrow at the cookout.
See what I'm saying? It's a nice little plug right there, man. They're getting it in, man. They're getting it in. Listen, Silver Bluff stand up. Silver Bluff stand up, man. We're in the building, man. So let me ask you a question, man. How does it feel being from that county, man?
It feels great, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm from there. I get to get back there. That's where I grew up at. More so than anything, you touched on it a little bit, I was on Live PD. I started off in a little small town called New Ellington, where we only had 6 police officers, man. Wow. We was known as the speed trap, one of the speed traps between Jackson and a little town called New Ellington, both of them. And we were known for writing tickets right outside of Savannah Riverside, the nuclear power plant. And I rose from being a young officer from Aiken County to New Ellington before I came to Richland County. Okay. And I've been to New York 8 times. I've been to Los Angeles a couple times. I shot a commercial there. Wow. Graduated from the Criminal Justice Academy. And I just thought I was gonna be in law enforcement. I never thought that it would take me to these places. And what I tell everybody, just like yourself, we from South Carolina, man. And I don't care where you from, where you grew up at, or what you think about. Whether something's a tragedy or whether something's great, everybody has a tie to South Carolina. You know, God bless the souls that died at Charleston 9, all the people that died in Charleston.
Salute.
everybody, I don't care what part of South Carolina you're from, you knew somebody or knew of somebody that was connected to them. Everybody has a connection. Everybody has a tie to South Carolina. When I talk to young people now, when I talk to these little kids growing up, when I talk to these adults, these teens, they want to take their talents. They want to go to these schools. Go to South Carolina State, go to HBCUs, go to Benedict, go to these schools.
South Carolina State,
and when you get that knowledge
up.
and when you do these things, it's okay to go to a larger city to experience something different, but bring that knowledge, bring that wealth, all that stuff that you've learned, and bring it back to your own communities. Give these same people that grew up in New Ellington, Petticoat Junction, Jackson, Barnville Road, let these people know that you came from the same places that they came from and they can do it just like you.
Wow, you heard it, man.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we just started. That's the
down.
crazy part, man. We just started, man.
Going
Yeah,
down.
get your popcorn, man. Go to the refrigerator. Listen, man. Matter of fact, no, do not go to the refrigerator because some of you are overweight right now, okay? But if you want to lose weight, guess what?
That's why I'm at the
Come get
smoothie
your
bar.
smoothie.
Get you a smoothie. It's going down. The
Come
Slim
get your
Kev is
smoothie.
coming. Y'all see
Come
it?
get your smoothie right now, man. 7510, man. Gunners Ferry Road,
Yeah.
the Brew. But listen, so let me ask you a question, man.
What's up?
When you chose to pick your profession, why law enforcement?
I had two parents that were in law enforcement.
Oh, wow,
Again,
okay.
I was born in Washington, D.C. CIA agent, FBI agent. That's my chosen path. That's what I thought. My biggest thing has always been helping people.
Right.
If you're put in a position of power, you're put there to help people, regardless of your skin color, regardless of your belief, your sexuality. If you're in a position, you help people. Because I can guarantee you now, even being a cop or when I was a cop, no matter, I never asked if the person is black or white. Unless we go into a scene and somebody's running from there and they committed a crime, I need their description. I ask where they're at and I map in my mind what if. Everybody says don't what if. But I always think what if, I always think worst case scenario, because regardless of what happens, I'm coming. But if you expect the worst when you come in, especially when you got that uniform on, you're prepared for anything. And you can see it in my actions. And I had a lot of people, racist, not racist, they say a lot of different things, but the common denominator was whether they liked me or they didn't like me, they respected me. They knew that if I stopped their child, if I stopped them, I was gonna be fair.
Right.
That's all I care about. Whether you like me or not, as long as you know I'm gonna do my job and do it right, I've done my goal. I've succeeded. You know, that's my mission.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. So when you was approached with the news that you was gonna be on formerly Live PD, how did you handle that?
It was different, man. It was one of those things where Sheriff lied, and you know, I'm one of the few, and I don't care what job you're in, what profession you're in. It's always great when your boss sees something in you that you may not see or see some type of potential. For whatever reason, him, shout out Curtis Wilson, my boy Gerard Walls, my boy Michael Hickson down in Greenwood County, all these people had an influence on me. Mike Baker in Columbia, all these people had an influence on me. They saw it in me, but sometimes you don't see it in yourself. And you know, when you're young, when an older person gives you advice, it's like when you're washing your car, they put that water on that sponge. You got to soak it up like a sponge.
Gotta soak it up.
You may not see it, but a lot of times, especially nowadays, nobody's trying to give you something that's going to uplift you or put you on the right path. And they saw it in me. And I got voluntold because Kevin Lawrence. Yeah, voluntold. Kevin Lawrence don't work weekends.
Right.
So Sheriff Locke, Sheriff Locke called me. He said, "Hey, Kev, what you doing?" I said, "No." Oh, back up. We rewind. So they had like 10 different people, and we did Skype interviews for Live PD because we thought it was gonna be like cops and everything. We thought it was gonna be,
Bad
you know,
boys,
they gonna.
bad boys.
We thought it was gonna be, you know, whatever. They gonna disappear.
Right.
So Sheriff was like, we interviewed. They loved me, man. It was me and a little Korean dude named Marcus Kim, a little short dude. So we said we was Rush Hour 5. You know, I was this guy, he was that guy. So we joked with him. So every time the show came on, initially it was Fridays. Kevin Lawrence don't work Fridays and Saturdays.
Right.
Came up with an excuse every time. I wasn't trying to work Friday and Saturday. Sheriff called me one day. Danny Brown was out because he loved the show. So Danny Brown was out. Sheriff was like, what you doing? I said, I'm working. He said, I got a job for you. I said, thank you. I know you hired me. Thank you. I appreciate it. He said, nah, I got a job for you. I want you to come work Friday. I said, for what? He said, the TV show. So that was that particular episode where we chased this guy all around Columbia. He had a Dodge Ram pickup, right? We chased him all around Columbia. Ended up catching him. And me being me, nothing extra. Always me being me. So I took the gloves out my pouch after we caught the dude because the dog almost bit me, almost bit him. And he was bleeding from his lip after the accident because the airbags popped out. So I took the gloves And I took his shirt and I wiped his lip. I mean, just as me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You render aid. You take care of people. So that's what I did. Bro, I blew up. I love Lawrence. I love this. I love that. And during the time, it wasn't a black dude that was on the show that people could relate to.
Not at all.
But it was just
Not
me
at
being
all.
me. So I was me. I did what I was supposed to do. And I blew up. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was like, man. But I had NFL players. I had professional athletes. Everybody's like, Jenny McCarthy even put me on her Instagram, bro.
Wow.
And I was like, dang, everybody was feeling
Wow.
the boy. I was like, oh, Lord, this cat from South Carolina
So
done
let me
changed
ask
the
you
game.
that though, because see, me knowing you,
Yeah.
right? Because we're friends.
Yeah.
Me knowing you, you still remain humble.
Yeah.
How?
Man, it's one of those things
Is it your
where
upbringing?
it's my upbringing, but at the same time, I don't care who you are, where you come from. The Lord giveth,
And the Lord.
taketh. Okay. Huh? He giveth and he
take it
taketh.
away.
So at the same time, I don't care where your background is, where you come from, you always remain humble.
Right.
Because just like me on the streets, and this is the thing about this profession, sometimes you gotta be the bad guy. Sometimes you gotta come in. People don't always call you when they up and up. Sometimes they call you when they down.
Right.
You gotta be the bad guy. Sometimes you gotta make that decision. You gotta take people to jail. It is what it is. Sometimes you
what it
gotta
is.
be the bad
Right,
guy.
right.
But at the same time, you treat people with respect. And I was always taught, you know, pretend like your mom's watching. Everything you do, pretend like your mom or your dad's watching in the background.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you pretend like they watching, you pretend like they over your shoulder and you treat people right, it is what it is. But first and foremost, I'm a man first and I'm a black man first.
Right.
So some things you ain't gonna say, some things you ain't gonna do. You know, and I'm gonna try to remain professional at all times, but sometimes things happen, man. And like I said, you try to remain professional the entire time.
Right.
But I mean, they tell us in this profession you gotta have thick skin, but bro, sometimes it's tough.
Speaking of that, because we heard the praise and we saw the accolades, right?
Yeah.
But with public opinion, sometimes there is some backlash.
Yeah.
Okay. And much like you mentioned, you do have thick skin.
Yeah.
So how did you, let's say, stop the hate from getting to you personally?
Man, it was really hard. I'm one of those people, I don't like controversy, but at the same time, I'm one of those people, and we friends, and we've been friends for a long time. You know it. I'm gonna let you know from Jump Street, whether I like you or whether I don't like you. I'm not gonna be around you and don't like you.
Right.
And that's coming from up north, down here, even though I was young. If you don't like somebody up top, you don't deal with them. You don't smile in their face, you don't pretend to be their friend. Here, and I'm just giving you an example, you could be taking me to work, and we could ride together every day. But as soon as I get away from you, I could hate you.
Right.
And that's the way it is here. And it is what it is. And I try not to be that way, but at the same time, that's just what it is, man. And the hate and the stuff like that, I'm not a controversial person. Not the Maxwell. I'm not a controversial person. But at the same time, hey, we had to groove. But at the same time, you try to remain humble, man. Right. But you try not to respond to a lot of things because I'm verified. Not the Nike check, but I got the blue check on Twitter. The blue check. But it's one of those things where you get a lot of people inboxing you, saying different things. And I never forget this one comment. This guy sent me one time and he was like, wow, it's kind of amazing how you never lock up black people, but you're always locking up white people.
Wow.
And you break down the demographics. Richland County is probably one of the few counties that's predominantly black. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we deal with the exception of Columbia PD and Forest Acres with the predominantly white areas, and they have a lot of black areas too. We usually deal with black folks, man.
Right.
And it wasn't until I got off the show that you had a lot of people saying, man, we wish you was back on there.
Oh,
and
man,
it was certain things that happened, like and I'm not gonna say because I don't want to. I'm not gonna incriminate myself, but at the same time, it's one of those things where you got FBI agents happen. God bless the souls that died up in Florence. We went up there to hold down the scene when those officers got shot. FBI agents came down from Virginia, DC, Quantico. They knew exactly who I was. They knew me by name. And it was one of those things where it was like everybody's watching you. You got people in your own profession watching you. You got people in different walks of life watching you. So you got to do what's right. At the same time, we can handle things, when the camera's not on. But by law, it's certain things that I have to do. And regardless of how anybody feels, that's how I eat.
Facts.
That's how my people eat. So I got to make sure that they eat. So, you know, I had to handle things certain ways, and a lot of people didn't realize it, but it wasn't until like we had one-on-ones and we had sit-downs, people see me, they're like, oh, okay, we got you now, we understand now. And that's everything that's going on. People, you know, tend to forget that line of communication is important. Sometimes it ain't what you say, it's how you say it. Sometimes you have to break things down, sometimes you have to talk to people. And you know,
and being tactful. And
sometimes I've been in those situations where you talk to people at those up and up places, the Capital City Club, University of South Carolina, Benedict College, Allen, South Carolina State, versus going to, and I'm not, you know, downgrading anybody, but you go to some of the housing projects, you go to some of the other urban areas, as they call it, and I'm not going to name any because I'm not going to label anybody anything, but at the same time, I can talk to anybody regardless of what educational level they're on, regardless of where they're from, because I put everything in layman's terms and I let everybody understand. That's where I'm coming from, that's how it's going to be.
Facts. So let me ask you this. Okay, so listen, you know about the whole George Floyd situation.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have to touch on that too much, but I do want to know, how have you been keeping your friends, let's say friends and family, you know, calm about that situation? See, you know, we know you. I mean, we've had that conversation. Yes, there are good cops, and yes, there are bad cops, right? But we view you like, you know, whenever me and you talk, we talk as friends.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And there's nothing but love for you. Why? Because, you know, in my opinion, you know, you're my brother. So,
That's right.
You know, my main concern is for you, right? But how do you keep, you know, me, your friends, plus your family, you know, let's say calm about the situation that's going on right now?
Shout out to the parentals. They raised a good kid, in my personal opinion. You know, in the past, you know, growing up, we hated whippings. We hated to get beat down. But this generation, us 80s babies, late 70s babies, we can appreciate it now. We can understand why things happen the way that they happen. Now in this generation, you got people that feel like they deserve something, that they need something, and they don't want to work for anything. We work for everything that we have, and we continue to work. We still working for everything that we have. So when you look at the George Floyd, God bless his family, God bless everybody involved, you look at it. So everybody's always posing this question, where are the good cops when the bad stuff happens? And, you know, me being a black man and a black deputy sheriff, investigator, whatever you want to call it, it's just like bad people. Bad people, birds of a feather flock together. So bad people are going to be around bad people and do bad things with bad people. Good people are going to hang around good people. I worked, you know, and I got to give it, you know, I give credit where it's due. Shout out to Sheriff Lott again. I worked in internal affairs. I know how it is arresting officers, reprimanding officers, suspending officers, even terminating officers, the deputies. I know how it is. I've been on the side where you work in internal affairs, so you hold cops accountable for what they do. So now, you know, regardless of how good you are, you know, for every 50 that likes me, it's 100 that dislikes me just because of my profession. So with that said, I was in internal affairs, so I go to a restaurant and sit down. You got the other cops that's gonna move over here. They don't want to sit by you. They're gonna hold you accountable. You're gonna hold them accountable. They don't want to sit by you. And then you got the public. It's a black dude with a badge. What's the first thing people say? That's Uncle Tom. That's Uncle Tom. They ain't say it to your face. That's Uncle Tom. But at the same time, as soon as somebody gets in trouble, as soon as somebody needs some help, hey, bro, they hit me on the inbox. They find my number online. Hey, bro, let me holler at you. Let me do this. Let me do that. And guess what? I never slide away from anything. What's up? How can I help you? Because that's me. That's what's in my heart.
You've never been running, though.
That's what's in my heart. That's what I'm going to do. When you're put in a position of power, and in this job, you know, fortunately and unfortunately, you have the power to take somebody's life, take somebody's freedom. And South Carolina is one of the few states where one of the great things that we do have is something called officer's discretion. So I can make the determination whether I want to help you, you know, whether I, you know, some infractions, some laws, you know, I'm mandated by law where I have to lock you up by felonies. But sometimes I can work with you, you know what I'm saying? And just like being on TV, a lot of people didn't like the fact that, you know, this guy doesn't have insurance, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that. Why are you letting him go? Now, I never forget, you know, this lady sent the sheriff an email one day and was like, you know, you need to check your celebrity nigga. Your celebrity nigga, your celebrity nigga lets all the other niggas go. That's the stuff people didn't see. So for everybody, like I said, for every 50 that likes you, it's 100 that dislikes you.
Yeah.
Just because you helping people out. Now, regardless, you know, it is what it is. I could have locked the dudes up. I could have wrote them tickets, and I'm not going to speak on the situation, but I didn't. What's the point? I caught them before they prevented the problem. Granted, shortly after, they went tricking that night, and the trick took them home. But with that being said, I looked out for them, man. That's me.
Be careful.
Streets ain't safe. Streets ain't safe, y'all. Streets ain't safe. But regardless, you know what I'm saying?
Spend your money wisely. Spend your money wisely.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it. But at the same time,
check in with the community vibes at the same time. But I'll help you out here in these streets.
The groove. But at the same time, I was me. I never changed. I never veered away from my path. I did what I was supposed to do. I love people. I try to help people. Black, white, blue, green, gay, straight. It don't matter. And you know, before this Rona hit, not Corona, but before this Rona hit, when I was in Richland County, I never went to parties. I never clubbed. Maybe years ago, Slim Kev and Fit. But at the same, I never did it. But you know, my going out would be, since everybody knew me from TV and stuff. And my outlet was, I would go work the gala on Clemson Road. Shout out to the gala. When they would have those parties and those things, shout out to Bland, shout out to Lai, shout out to April, shout out to Trap, shout out to Brandon, shout out to all of them. We had good times out there, man. And it was like one of those things where I was working the parties, and I know it was people that was gangbangers, this, that. I worked out there for about 2 years. Kev ain't locked nobody up. And we had problems out there. But guess what? We took care of them, man. And it's one of them relationships that you have between you and the community. And I had a lot of people, oh, that's PD Live. That's not my name. I don't work for them. They didn't pay me nothing. I don't work for them. But at the same time, you know, it was still me, and that was my claim to fame. That's how people recognized me. That's how people knew me. You know, it was what it was. But you know, back again, I didn't work for them people. I didn't know them people. I was still me. I was still me. And hey, appreciate you again.
Oh, come on, man.
I never changed. I always was me.
You never changed.
I never changed, and I still haven't. And you know, anytime somebody asks me to speak, anytime anybody asks me to do anything, I'm more than willing to do it. I love it. I love helping people, man.
Listen, man. Your boy's a living witness, man. He has never changed, man. He has stayed 100. You know what I mean? Throughout the entire process.
Shout out to the Redskins.
Listen. Speaking of that, one quick small little break right quick. How do you feel about them possibly changing their name?
Man, I got so many emotions, and that's because before they moved to Landover, FedEx Field where they're at now, I went to old RFK Stadium downtown when they were the Hogs. They were good. They were good. They were winning Super Bowls. What's your team? What's your team?
The Carolina Panthers.
You know, I saw them on the other day, you know. They hadn't won any Super Bowls, but hey, that's the hometown team. Hey, shout out to the Patriots. Shout out to the Patriots. Cam Newton. Cam Newton on Twitter. My boy follows me, Muhammad Sanus. Shout out to them, man. Shout out to them. I hope they do well, man. Because regardless of anything, just like anything, everything's a business. So Cam took it for what it was. He did what he had to do. He kept working. He kept grinding. And he's in there. I'm always and will always be a Cam Newton fan.
Yeah,
so,
man, salute to Cam Newton.
You know,
that's true perseverance right there, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Never, listen, man, never stop.
Never fold,
man.
never fold.
Because, listen, man, you control your destiny, okay? You control your destiny, man. Listen, man, don't let nobody stop you. Don't let nobody stop you, okay? I'm telling you right now, he's a living witness, and so am I, man. You can be whatever you want to be if you just truly believe in yourself first. You know what I mean?
Tuck Project.
I'm telling you, man. Put your family first. Put God first. I'm telling you, and stay humble. Listen, man. Nothing but phenomenal things will happen for you, but you will have some bumps in the road. I promise you, you will have some bumps in the road. So, let me ask you a question, man. So, when you was coming up, man, did you envision this?
And
you know, you was a senior at Silver Bluff High School, man.
Bulldog Pride, baby.
Bulldog Pride, man.
Did you envision shout out this? All the people, Silver Bluff. My cousin Marcus Lawrence.
All them boys, man. You're gonna see them tomorrow.
No, my cousin Marcus.
Oh, my bad.
Marcus was a linebacker at USC.
Marcus, right.
Guess who his roommate was?
Ooh.
Shout out Lance Lowry. Shout out Lance Lowry. That's my dog.
Seattle Seahawks.
Shout out Lance Lowry.
Lance Lowry, man, is a good dude.
Brandon Wallace. Remember Brandon Wallace that played at USC?
Yeah.
Silver Bluff.
Yeah.
Silver Bluff.
Listen.
That was great.
Silver Bluff.
Troy Williamson. Troy Williamson,
the
number
fastest
7.
guy in the world. Listen.
Him and Aries Curry, the boys was fast.
Man.
Aries Curry didn't go to Silver Blood, but I knew that cat. He was fast. I knew he was fast.
Clemson. But I rock with Aries Curry because he came to spoke to my little kids one day, man. I appreciate you, Aries Curry, for that, man. You know what I'm saying?
And let me tell you the small victories. Not to cut you up. Let me tell you the small. So DeAndre Hopkins, right?
Oh, okay.
Clemson, right? Clemson. So I never forget this, bro. I always worked the student section. Shout out to Clowney, Bruce Ellington, Connor Shaw, Garcia, all them cats. Since I've been working in Richland County, I done met all of them. All of them good people, right?
Right.
So I never forget, that was the year that South Carolina beat Clemson.
Okay.
DeAndre Hopkins was walking back to the bus. This guy, white guy, I never forget it. This white guy said, "You black MF, go back to Africa." I mean, just nasty.
To you?
To Hopkins.
Oh,
when
okay,
Hopkins, when he was walking back to the bus from the tunnel from South Carolina. So he turned around and he looked, and I said, "Bruh, it ain't worth it." And he kind of looked at me like, "You ain't gonna lock him up?" I said, "Bruh, it ain't worth it. It ain't." And he looked at me. I said, "Bruh, I promise you this. Within the next 2-3 years, you're gonna be a superstar, a millionaire. Don't give it all for one bad decision." And when I talk to people from Jump Street every day, all day, I always tell them, I don't care what walk of life you from, what you working toward, what you have, what you don't have, where you're going and where you coming. One bad mistake, bro. One bad mistake, one irrational mistake. You can lose everything that you're working towards, everything that you gained, everything. One bad mistake, one irrational decision, one spur of the moment thing, and it's gone.
It's gone.
That's why I always tell people, cooler heads prevail. Walk away, be the punk, be the B word, be this, be. It's cool. It's cool.
Man.
But guess what?
Yeah.
When you can wake up the next morning, when you
got
ain't got to think about it, you don't wake up in Richland Memorial or Baptist, and you wake up in your bed, it's gonna bother you.
County.
Or Alvin Glen. Yeah. Or in Aiken County if you don't wake up on Wide Road, 435 Wide.
Yeah,
hey, you're good.
You know what I'm
You're
saying?
good. If you have time to think about it, and I was always taught this too. Yeah. If you have time to think about it, you have time to second guess yourself, you shouldn't do it.
You shouldn't do it.
You shouldn't do it. What's the point?
Govern yourself accordingly, man. Be the example. Be the example. Okay? Govern yourself accordingly, man. As you can see, man, this guy here has been through so much, man.
Life.
A lot of experiences, a lot of life experiences. He's seen it on both sides of the table. Yeah, you see a tan right there. You see a tan.
That arm out the window.
Y'all having a good time out here in these streets, man.
Country, man. Arm out the window.
He's having a good time out here in these
no
streets.
AC, arm out the window. Y'all see that?
Getting a tan. Yeah. He's on somebody's beach, you know what I'm saying, being a thot out here.
No Rona.
Listen.
No Rona, man. No Rona.
Being a thot out here.
Nah, man. Ain't no Rona.
I'm playing. Listen. So let me ask you a question, man, because this is a question that I ask all my guests.
Yeah.
All right. So you got to be honest with this question, though. Okay. You got to be transparent because your answer will determine our friendship going forward.
Okay.
All right. You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. Now, you ready? When it comes to chicken wings.
Oh Lord.
Huh? When it comes to chicken wings.
Drum.
See?
Drum.
You already know.
Big boy, man. I ain't get big like this for no reason. Drums. Ain't no flash. Drums.
Drums for the world.
Shout out to Carolina Ale House because they got some bomb wings. Boy, they got some bomb wings.
Yeah. Hey, you flat lovers are weird. You're weirdos.
Odd. Yes. Just real weirdos. Odd. ODD.
DJ
Fat boy, need a 10-piece.
Need a 10-piece.
Oh, 20.
All drums.
20.
Yes, all drums. Give me all drums. You can keep the flat. We don't want no flats. We want the drums.
I already knew the question.
You
I already knew that tomorrow's July the 4th. But guess what? We celebrated Juneteenth. We good. We good on Juneteenth. Break them shackles. But at the same time, you know it is what it is. I'm coming to somebody's cookout tomorrow.
Hey, listen.
Even if I don't see my cousin now, I'm coming to somebody's cookout.
Hey, listen, man. We have been blessed by the guy himself, man. Listen. What I told you guys, we're not controversial. We're all about having a good time, man. Lifting the community up. So let me ask you a question.
Even if you do ask me a controversial question, that's what I tell everybody. The only way that you're going to grow, the only way you're going to benefit from it is to have uncomfortable conversations.
Oh, facts.
A lot of people shy away from them. And again, Tuck, together uplifting community kids. That's what we do. We appreciate that. But at the same time, the only way you're going to grow is through that. Throughout my entire career, and I've been a October 16 years, my forte has been community policing. That's community policing. Talking to people, getting here, getting there. That's my thing. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, a lot of people don't understand that, you know, a lot of the cops, a lot of the people that's doing bad stuff, I'm off today, bro. They're not gonna volunteer their time. They're not gonna come out and say, hey, I wanna do this, I wanna do, they're not gonna do that. With me,
you always do.
Always, every day, all day. Because guess what? That's what you do. Because regardless of what happens, you know, whether I'm working or not working, these same people that you see in the streets, the same cats you're gonna see at Walmart, same cats you're gonna see at the gas station. Right. So treat people well, because if you don't, it'll reflect and it'll show, and you can't hide that. You can't hide that.
Gonna show.
You can't hide that.
Definitely gonna show, man. So let me ask you this, man. What's a glaring problem you see right now in our communities right now that, you know, you feel need fixing right now?
This.
Wow.
Because the first thing people do is they believe the first thing that they've seen, regardless of the story. And again, I got to revert back to Richland County because that's most of my professional career. I was one of the spokesmen, and you know, believe it or not, I was a sergeant and I was under Curtis Wilson. Curtis is the guru when it comes to public information and putting information out there. And you know, I learned a lot of in and outs from him and other people that I've worked with. And the media, and not knocking all media, that's just like all cops. You can't stereotype people. But for the most part, mainstream media is only going to put stuff out there that's going to cause controversy, that people want to talk about. You know, I'm going to put out there, let's just say right here, if I sit beside you and I do this, you know what I'm saying, put the bunny ears behind you, you know, mainstream media has probably put me with a noose around your neck. You know what I'm saying? They're only going to show partial or part of the story that causes controversy. They're not going to show the whole thing. And that was one of the few good things about, you know.
They control the narrative.
They control the narrative. One of the few things about Live PD, you know, you didn't only, it was like Little Pigs. You didn't just go there to get the banana pudding. You got the greens, the macaroni, mashed potatoes, the chicken, you got everything. So it showed you who, what, when, where, and why. You saw everything, why it started, why it happened. You saw all that stuff. And that was one of the good things that was about it. But at the same time, you know, it was one of those things where people believe that, you know, it was one of those things that was negative because, you know, they're always arresting people. They're always doing this. That wasn't the situation. That wasn't that. I mean, look at me. Hey, like my boy Shaq say, Google me, Chuck. Google me, Chuck. They're gonna show me doing the right thing, man. So, you know, like I said earlier, and you know, I'm big on redundancy, you know, repeating yourself. Do what you're supposed to do and pretend like your mom or your dad's watching over your shoulder. And you'll never have any problems. Now, granted, you have some people, and I'm not gonna say they dislike me, they dislike Cotwell. You got people that dislike everybody, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but I sleep well at night. But at the same time,
cynical people out there.
Yeah, at the same time, you know, they just hate the authoritative figure, you know, because a lot of people, even other cops, will say, you know, how do you know this car is gonna run? How do you know this car is gonna get in the chase? You know, I wasn't one of those people that was out there nitpicking, doing this stuff. If I stop a car, I probably had enough to arrest you anyway. Because, you know, you look for the small things, you look for detail, because small things lead to big things. You know, it was one of those things where I stopped the car one day and the dude jumped out and he ran. They was like, don't chase him, don't chase him. Dude had shot 3 people, man. Dude, and it was something as small as an altered tag, but dude had stopped 3, and let's just say, you know, he had a gun. He might have would have shot at me, but was it that he didn't like Kevin Lawrence, or he didn't like the fact that he had done something wrong and somebody was gonna get on his behind about it? They don't dislike, they just dislike the authoritative presence, especially when they've done something wrong. And you know, you don't take it personal. I mean, sometimes you try not to take it personal, but I mean, you're human. You have tough skin as much as you want, but sometimes you take it personal. But you know, it's one of those things where somebody's done wrong and they see you don't know what they've done. You know, you talking to them for something, most times you're talking to them for something completely different, and then, you know, it arises and then it is what it is, and it's like, God, dog.
Hey, you have been blessed. You've been blessed, man, by the guy himself, man. Mr. Kevin Lawrence in the building, man. Listen, please make sure that you follow this guy. So how can they follow you, bro?
My Instagram's private. Do some stupid stuff sometimes, but my Twitter's public. It's K_Law124. K_LAW124. And that's the same thing for my Instagram too.
Facebook? You on Facebook?
I don't do Facebook.
Okay.
I don't do Facebook.
No Facebook out there. You Facebookers. All right.
I got one, but I don't really activate it. But
Mind your business. But listen, thank y'all so much for tuning in, man. We have been impacted by the great man. Okay, listen. Now you know the man behind the badge, man. Okay, now you know this guy. Yes, he's a Washington Redskins fan. All right, don't blame him. Okay, we all make mistakes out here. We all make mistakes. Go Panthers. All right, listen. You have been impacted by another episode of Community Vibes. Please subscribe. Please subscribe because we have more greatness to come, man. I'm telling you, yo. We have some people with some incredible stories and some phenomenal testimonies, okay? Because we're trying to uplift the what? The community, all right? Trying to check those vibes, man. Listen, make sure you checking your temperatures too. Checking your temperatures out here because we don't want no Ronas.
He ain't got no mask on.
I
took mine off. He ain't got no mask on. He told me.
Mask off.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
All right, man. Listen, man. Take care, man. Be safe this weekend.
One time for Tuck. Appreciate what you're doing in the community.
Man, appreciate
He called me probably Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Asked me to come on the show.
The guy here.
Who cares if I had something to do? This is my guy.
Hey.
And look what he's doing. He's putting out information. He's pushing information. Mm-hmm. And like I said earlier, you know, if somebody's giving you some information, you soak it up like a sponge.
Definitely.
And I think, what's his name? Shout out Charlamagne the God.
Yeah.
Believe nothing that you hear.
Right.
And half of what you see. Because it ain't never true.
You can believe what you see right here because it's 100.
Yeah.
It's all 100.
All drums.
Yeah.
You see it? All drums. Ain't no flats. All drums. Hey.
Listen, you flat lovers, man. Unfriend me. Goodbye, y'all.
We going to the Chinese restaurant.
Kingdom. Community vibes, community ties. Terrance Tucker is the brother who's connecting the tribe. You say you won't shine, come get your shine on. You say you want vibes, come get your vibe on. Community vibes, community ties. Terrance Tucker is the brother who's connecting the tribe. Hey, you say you won't shine, we'll get your shine on. You say you want vibes, we'll get your vibe on. But there's no better time to get your grind on.